ZNS Total Sports is brought to you by Fourth Terrace Diagnostic Center.
Welcome to sports, everybody. The Government Secondary School Soccer Championships kicking off yesterday at the Roscoe Davies pitch. Up first in junior girls play, the CH Rays Raptors took home the title, being the Anton Rogers Timberwolves 1-0.
When it comes to playoff, it's a different ball game, so we continue to practice and they continue to execute everything in line practice, so it came fruitful for the day.
As for the junior boys, Anatol getting a bit of redemption. They also won the championship 1-0 over the SC McPherson Sharks.
It's been a tough game. It's both teams been to the championship. The girls didn't make it, but they play their hearts out, so I don't have any problem with that. That's what I required from them, and so I feel okay. But the boys came out and they responded in the right way. I knew it would have been a tough game, so hats off to them. It's a very good bunch. They are committed, and I love them. I love this team, assistant coach, everybody. They're just wonderful. It's a wonderful moment for us, wonderful moment for Anatol Rogers High School.
While the season is officially over for the juniors, the seniors still have some work to do as they go after a much bigger prize.
They're playing for a place in the National High School Championships, which will take place next week. We'll have teams from Grand Bahama coming over, from BAISS, and they'll start games on Tuesday, which again will be playoff. Thursday will be the semi-finals next week, and then on Saturday we'll have the finals of the National High School Championships over here. We did it 2 years ago. World Cup came into us last year, so it's a resurgence of that, and hopefully it'll start to engender some real spirit in the game of football throughout the whole of the Bahamas.
The Commonwealth Games winding down the Gold Coast of Australia. Earlier today, our men's 4x4 team of O.J. Ferguson, Alonzo Russell, Michael Matthew, and Ramon Miller finished fourth in their heat in 3:04.62. However, Australia, who finished in front of them, was disqualified, moving Team Bahamas up to third. Regardless of the finish, though, the time would have gotten them into the final tomorrow, where they once again run out of lane number 8. Public Works Minister, the Honourable Desmond Bannister, recently touring the Exuma mainland doing assessments. Among the items on his agenda, the regatta site in Georgetown.
The regatta site has some challenges with respect to drainage. I think I'm understanding that the shipping companies have caused some challenges with respect to erosion on the site. It wasn't drawn to my attention, but I'm also particularly concerned with respect to the depth of the water there, as to whether it is adequate for the boats that will come in there. But I think that the plans there for development of the site are certainly something that the government is going to have to find a way to support, because if you ever come here in Georgetown when they have a regatta, you'll see that people come from throughout this country to participate in that festival here. There's some other concerns with respect to the condition of restrooms, the management of facilities, so that they are, a facility that's 3 years old ought not to look like this.
Kerry Cartwright in Alabama this week at the Legacy Prudential Union Women's Pro Tennis Classic. Teaming with Kerry and Pierre Louis in quarterfinal round doubles action yesterday, the duo fell to the top-seed team of Chile's Alexis Garage and Erin Ratliff from Australia 6-1 and 7-6. For Kerry's dad, Sean, who's also a former Davis Cup player for the Bahamas, he likes how his daughter is playing right now.
She's beat a girl in singles last year who had the highest ranking. Well, her highest ranking was up to down to 300, but she wasn't ranked 300 when Kerry beat her because she had an injury and just came off and was getting the ranking back up, but she was ranked at 300 at one time. Kerry's beating girls right now who are 400, the highest one was 488 in singles, so she's playing against the top ranked girls, but it's difficult for her to get in some tournaments because when you sign up for a tournament on the pro circuit, the draws are maybe 32 draw, so only the top 32 highest ranked individuals can get into the draw, and then you have a qualifying. So even for her to get her ranking now, she's been having to play qualifying draws, which are a draw of another 32. So she plays 3 to 4 matches and then goes into the main draw already burnt out and tired, and having to play against the better, higher class players and have to get a few wins on 1 or 2 of them just to keep going to get the points, because you don't get a point on them 15K tournaments until the second or third round, and you only pick up 1 point. It's taken taking right now about a year for her to get her rankings where it is right now, and it's not easy.
Sponsorship is key for sports both locally and internationally, but as Charles Fisher tells us, where some of that money comes from is not sitting well with one of the country's most respected coaches.
Gambling houses sponsoring sporting events is not in the country's national interests. That coming from former Bahamas Olympic swimmer national coach Andy Knowles, making it quite clear that sports and gambling don't mix.
I feel that athletics, swimming, sports is such a disciplined sport. I mean, swimming is a disciplined sport. You put a lot of time, a lot of work. I'm always telling kids to work hard in the water, be disciplined, show up on time, put in the work, do what you have to do to be the best you could. And then I feel a numbers house or what have you comes along and they say, okay, I'm going to sponsor the event to help it. To me, that's just mixed messages. I honestly think that it's sending two messages. We're trying to tell our athletes that they need to be committed. The preamble of our Constitution talks about discipline, hard work, industry, those things that you're putting things in that produce. And whereas the number houses, to me, is not doing that. Your numbers house is trying to tell people, okay, put money here and you might win, try to get lucky. Those two don't go together.
No stress that we should also be teaching a commitment to self-discipline and an abiding respect for Christian values and the rule of the law.
I was part of the referendum and worked closely with the churches. I still feel like that. I just saw some of the stuff in the press leading up to CRIFTA, and to me I was just thinking, it just does not add up. I will give my views on it. I just feel there's so many other things that we could do to look at sponsoring sports that we don't need to go down that avenue.
And what are some of those?
There's a lot of things been thrown out in the past as far as budgets. I'm not going to get into that, but if you're looking at the budget, I remember my Uncle Dermot mentioning, a tax on gas, a certain amount adds up to a whole lot of money at the end of the year. You just have to decide what you want to do and put your priorities, and then you can make it happen.
For ZNS Total Sports, I'm Charles Fisher.
The Bahamas Bowling Federation taking a break from the lanes tomorrow. They'll hit the outdoors to put on a fundraiser.
We have a South-South. It's going to be right on the grounds of Mario's, and a fun run, walk, if you will. Very short distance from Mario's to Goodman's Bay and back. So we're really looking forward to just public support and raising funds in that regard, because we really need it. Like I said, we have these several teams going off this year, and it takes money to move them forward and get them to where they need to go.
And that'll do it for sports. Stay tuned, checking weather still to come.